Boris Epshteyn, I mean, there are two forces at play here. One is, frankly, there's just strong discomfort even within the Republican Party with Donald Trump's stances, his styles, et cetera. But it's also his declining position in the polls. I'm curious, inside the Trump camp, is there genuine worry that there will be a revolt at the convention that tries, whether successfully or not, but that tries to take the nomination away from him?
Absolutely not. This whole movement is 30 out of 2,400 delegates. Think about that, like almost 1% of delegates. That's about it. So it's not really a movement, it's just a collection of folks who happen to not like Donald Trump. And that's fine, that's their right. But almost 14 million people have come out and voted for Donald Trump. 2 million more people voted in the GOP primary than the Democrat primary. In 45 out of 50 states, the turnout for the GOP primary went up, while on the Democrat side, in 44 out of 50 states, it went down. Donald Trump did more for the GOP than anybody since Ronald Reagan in this primary season. And he is by far the best candidate to face off against Hillary Clinton. That's why he's been the presumptive nominee now for 6 weeks. So
Boris,
the Trump campaign is absolutely not worried about this.
Boris, let me ask you, I was in Orlando all week. I covered this issue for some time. It's the first time I've had a chance to speak to a Trump surrogate since Donald Trump repeated his proposal for a Muslim ban and seemed to expand it, because initially he had talked about Muslims as the religion, but in his Monday speech he talked about countries with a history of terrorism against the U.S., which frankly includes many countries, many of which are not even Muslim majority, because if you think of France or Belgium, where they have a strong terror presence there. Can you help define for me and the viewers exactly which countries his ban would encompass?
What we're looking at, and what Donald Trump is talking about, is a pause on immigration from countries which are deemed to be, after study, sources of threat to the United States. Now, you had a commentator.
So what are those countries? What are those countries? Is it terror sponsors designated by the State Department? Is it terror safe havens? Because the State Department has its own category of safe haven, but it also has a whole other category of countries where there are terror groups that have a presence, and that includes many countries beyond, say, the Somalias or the Afghanistans of the world. I'm just curious, has the candidate sat down and talked about exactly which countries he's talking about? Because this could be anywhere from a handful to 40 some odd countries.
Well, as all legislation is, there would obviously be tiers. One would be countries where there's state-sponsored terrorism. You have to talk about those countries. Then you do have to consider countries where there's a lot of terrorist cells, and you have to consider what folks out of those countries you have to let in to the United States.
Does that include France, Belgium, the UK, for instance, which are U.S. allies, but also have a presence of terror cells?
You would have to consider how much immigration and what kind of immigrants, illegal immigrants, you let in from those countries, and what kind of immigrants you grant illegal status to from those countries.
I assume when you say what kind, you're talking about what their religion is? Their ethnicity,
or their background is? You have to take an example of the wife in the San Bernardino shootings. You had a commentator on earlier who said that terrorism has been homegrown. She was not born in the United States. She was here on a visa, and it's been widely reported that she had all kinds of online presence talking about her belief in jihad and wanted to be a jihadist, and that was missed. So we need to be much more vigilant in pausing immigration from both based on the backgrounds of the actual immigrants and where they're coming from.
Boris Epshteyn, Trump surrogate, Stephen Collinson, politics reporter for CNN. Thanks very much.